Hey there, writers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Emma and I write romance. And today I was wanting to share something that I have been doing recently that I thought it might be useful for people to know about in case you fancy trying it yourself. So currently, I have got a lot of writing deadlines. I'm writing quite a few books. Now, I'm not complaining at all about this. I am so thrilled that I am able to write and publish as many books as I am at the moment, that I have the publishing deals that I have, and I'm really enjoying the process. But it is also a lot, and I have had to kind of tweak how I work to a certain extent. In particular, the amount of time that I take between drafts of a story. So, in previous years, when I've been working on a story, I will normally work quite intensely on a book until I've got to the end of the first draft, and then I will put it away, usually for at least 2 weeks, sometimes as much as a month. And what that allows me to do is to come back to it with fresh eyes so that I'm hoping that I spot things that maybe I wouldn't have spotted before. However, with the number of publishing deadlines that I have at the moment, that is just not possible. So, for example, the book that I am writing at the moment, which is book 3 in my Castle Cove series, it's a contemporary romance set in the fictional town of Castle Cove in Cornwall. I literally just had like 1 or 2 days that I was able to take in between draft one and draft two, and then it needs to go off to my publisher. So, this is what I did. I finished draft one. I was quite pleased with draft one. And then I took hold of this notebook. So for each of the books that I write, I have a notebook for them. I don't write my books out by hand, but I will use that notebook to put notes about my characters, such as eye color, hair color, age, birthdays, if that's relevant, if it comes up during the story. I'll also sometimes draw plans of their homes so that I know, like, if they're moving from the kitchen, what room they're going to be going into. The main thing that I use it for is that if I am a little bit stuck as to how a scene should go, I will go and write it out by hand, just because I find I'm more creative sometimes with pen and paper. Oh, my doggy Hector's come to join me. And that works really, really well for me if I'm, struggling with a little bit of a plot problem, or if I'm just not quite sure how a character is going to react to something. It helps me to sit down and work it out with a pen and paper. But what I'm using it for this time is I found like a double page spread that was completely clean, and I left it out on the dining room table. The dining room table is like right in the middle of our downstairs. So I'm walking past it all the time, even if I'm not working there. And what I tried to do for that 2 days that I was able to take in between drafts is every time I thought of something with that book that maybe I needed to be aware of, maybe I hadn't brought out enough in a character, even if, oh, hello, my other doggy's here. Even if I had actually mentioned it, maybe I just need to make more of it. Or maybe it's something that I had just forgotten to add in. I needed to make sure that I do. So, in the case of the book that I'm writing at the moment, I was very aware that I hadn't built up the relationship between my heroine Georgia and her teenage daughter as much as I was wanting to. They are really entering a new stage in their relationship where they are able to become friends as well as mother and daughter, and they've got like a new respect for each other. And you've reached the point where the daughter Layla is actually able to give her mum romantic advice, which it's like some really cute little scenes between them. And I wanted to make sure that I'd made the most of that relationship. So I made a note that I needed to do that. I also forgot that Layla's birthday needed to be in the middle of the story because it's set at the same time of year as book one, and Layla has a birthday in book one. So anything like that that I thought of, I just made like a bullet point list. And now that I am working through draft two, I'm just making sure that I've got that notebook next to me. And so I'm ticking off each of those points as I either see, oh, okay, that's okay, I did cover that enough, or oh, yeah, I can see where that needs to go in, or if I need to take that out because maybe I'm thinking that I did too much there or whatever. And it just means that I've got that list to work through. What I did try to make sure that I did, and I think this really helped, was I tried my best not to consume too much just during those 2 days between drafts. So, for example, I didn't listen to an audiobook like I might do while I was like cleaning up the kitchen. I just tried to keep my mind as open as possible to that story and be thinking about it as much as I possibly could. Dog walks is my usual time for thinking about my story, or in the shower. So I just tried to make more times during the day when my mind just had the chance to be able to think about my characters and my story. I did some gardening, for example, and I would always normally have an audiobook going while I'm doing that, but I didn't. I just tried to let my mind be free. And I do think that that really helped. Um, yeah, so what I would say that I found so far that is a real positive about this method that I am not not being forced to adopt, but I'm needing to adopt at the moment, is that my story is very much at the forefront of my mind. Whereas when I leave it between drafts for longer, you're coming back to it. And the idea is that you are going to spot more inconsistencies and things like that, but you're also having to take the time to get back into the story. Whereas I'm not now, my mind is right there with those characters, with the scenario that they're in, and I'm just very aware of them all the time in my mind. So I'm not really sure which way works best if I did have the opportunity to choose between them. I'm just doing what needs to be done at the moment. I am incredibly lucky, though, that I do have some really, really fantastic editors working with me on these books. So I have many sets of eyes on them to pick up any inconsistencies that maybe I might not spot because I'm going through the drafts at a faster rate. So, yeah, that is what is working for me at the moment, or at least I hope that is what is working. We'll have to see when the book comes out and reviews start coming in. So, if you have been in a situation where you have needed to go from your first draft in particular to your second draft very quickly, please, if you have any suggestions, any helpful hints, pop them down in the comments below, both for the other viewers and for me, because I am learning as I go here. This is the first series that I've written, and it's the first time that I've needed to work through writing books quite so quickly. So, any help gratefully received. And thank you so much for watching this video today. If you've enjoyed it, please make sure that you boop that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we have a lot of fun here. And I will catch you in the next one.